Welcome. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, share the show. Thank you for listening. This is Joey. Let's get started. I get asked a lot when it comes to politics. If you say that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are the same person, then what's the point of voting, number one? And then what's the point of these two parties pretending to be two parties and pretending to be fighting, right? And I can totally understand that question. You know, if there's one party, if there's really one party, I did an episode called the Democratic Republican Con Game, and I think I should go back and revisit that because I made that when I was really new to YouTube. But the question is generally, if it's really one party, why pretend to be two and why pretend to be at war, right? Why pretend to be in opposition of each other? And there's multiple layers to the answer to that. And the first part of it is, it's the illusion of choice. People will know flat out that they're in a fascist or autocratic system where they don't really have a lot of options and will be more prone to revolt if they're sitting there with one unified governing body, one party, one system that acts as one. However, if people, especially people in America, given the narrative, note that I'm saying narrative and not history, given the narrative that they're given about their history, if people coming up in America are given the ceremonial feel like they have a choice of the decisions that get made for them, that there's something they can do about it, then they're more likely to accept it, right? The second reason is regular people like you and me can become so enthralled in the illusion that we end up showing our support for this illusion with money and, you know, in donations and time and investment and energy towards, quote unquote, the other side, right? And in so doing that, you become completely distracted from what's really going on. If somebody were to sit down and really explain to you not how your government works, but how your government is currently working and how campaigns, how they're really funded and where the money goes and what really happens and the business behind it all. If somebody really explained not the Schoolhouse Rock version of how your government operates on paper, but the no bullshit story of how your government operates in practice, right? If somebody sat down and explained that to you, the average person would probably revolt. They certainly wouldn't be sending campaign chips into one side or the other, right? But that's my main answer for that, is that it makes a lot of money, it distracts people, and it provides the illusion of choice. So it's illusion and distraction. Now, with saying all of that, the rest of that question was, of course, well, then why the hell would you want to vote and participate in said system if it's all one big illusion or distraction? And my answer to that is you don't. Not really. You're not voting as a black person, really as an American, but we'll never play that game correctly. I do want to make sure that I get this whole thing out as concise as possibly, because it's very confusing. This is why I'm always saying things are a matter of semantics. What happens oftentimes in political speak is double speak and forked tongues, right? It's the most dirty, most trickery-filled game in the world. A politician is a slicker talker than a pimp. one never goes to jail. You know what I'm saying? So when I say politics, I'm not talking about a vote. You do have a vote. You have an actual ballot. I'm holding one in my hands right now. You have an actual ballot that is actually scanned and actually tallied and counted. It's a real crime for someone to mess with your vote. They do count your vote. If you're black, you're white, you're whatever. If you've gotten to the point where you get a vote in the mail, yes, your vote does count. Yes, your vote is real. That is a fact. But your vote, and I'm speaking specifically to black folks, but white folks are starting to realize this too now, and that's why they're starting to turn up so hard. Your vote does not mean shit if you do not have politics. Politics is much more than just a vote. Your vote is just it's an expression of your politics. I'll give you a perfect example. What the hell does your vote mean, right? What does your vote mean if you don't even know who or what you're voting on half the time? Because you don't have politics. You don't have information coming your way. You're not in the loop of what's going on, what bills they're passing, what bills they're trying to pass, whose funding's coming from who, what incentives are these people getting, what is the will of the people that can move and shake. Can you and your people come together and make noise on something? There are all kinds of, let's tell the truth about voting. Because I talk to a lot of people. I talk to family members, talk to friends about this stuff all the time. I don't know why, we gotta kill that rule. Now that there used to be a rule at work about how, you don't never talk about religion or politics or whatever. So we're no longer at work no more. We're all working from home, working gig jobs and shit. Let's go ahead and talk about politics, because black people, we really, really pride ourselves as a culture of not thinking about politics, because from our point of view, it's been some bullshit, right? So I'm not downplaying us. I get it. Now, when you don't have politics, your vote doesn't really mean shit. You're giving your vote away. And that's what everybody does to black people. They know we don't really know politics. And so we'll just kind of vote with whatever group y'all, hey, we gonna vote Democrat. We don't really know. We don't really have an incentive to why we vote the way we vote, other than what we're shown on television. And that is a soap opera. That's political soap opera. That's kabuki theater. That's politico telemundo. That's as the country turns. That's not really what's going on. But you can get so enthralled in that you're thinking you're watching the Thundercats. You'll hear some people talk about politicians on a personal level. I remember there was a joke about how black folks will openly talk about beating up politicians. White folks will talk about having sex with their wives before they tell you who they voted for. You know what I'm saying? And that should let you know how crazy of a time we're in, because now you're in an age where white folks will openly wear a MAGA hat or have their Democrat seal. Like it's gotten that volatile. So black people, voting rights and voting and politics are two different things. One is a part of the other. Voting is a part of politics. But when I say you can vote, that doesn't mean you have politics. Politics is having a voice, having a what's Salon say? A seat at the table. You don't have a seat at the table. Someone's kicking you a doggy bag. That's your vote. You get to participate in the vote. In the NFL, they got a rule when they got to hire a new head coach that they have to interview at least one black candidate. They don't got to hire that nigga, and they don't really got to consider his ass neither. They just have to go give him what they call in the industry a courtesy. So he's up there. He don't know. He ain't got no shot. He's really giving it all he got. He might actually be the best candidate for all you know, but they ain't going to really consider his black ass. but he gets to interview. But he doesn't know he's not a part of the politics. He don't really got to see the table like that. So I hope that clears this up to get to my next phase of answering why you would want to participate. Like I said, why would you want to vote in a system to where it's one party pretending to be two, and they're playing everybody and playing on everybody's differences to distract from the hustle that they're doing. And it's the same game since the damn Roman Colosseums. Why would you even want to vote in that? And I just told you, you don't want to vote in that. You want politics within that. You want a seat at the table. Even if getting a seat at the table is for nothing more than pulling a Jesus and flipping the table, right? So here's what I'm saying. Now that you understand that American politics is one party pretending to be two for the sake of distraction, and you understand that the whole charade depends on that, what better of a political strategy would there be than to have the ability to break that? What better political strategy could there be than to have the threat of being able to intercept that signal at will? Disrupt the usually scheduled programming and mess things up for everybody. I want to kind of cabinet that for a minute and use an example that I don't think we ever really get to appreciate about our people, because the narrative on mainstream media always twisted about black folks getting their ass whooped, right? When we casually talk about the events leading up to pretty much the entire 1960s, early 1960s, late 1950s, and even into the 1970s, the era that we casually call the civil rights era, even though there were multiple civil rights eras and multiple civil rights movements by us. But that era, I don't think we appreciate, because there's so much focus on the abuse that happened. I don't think we appreciate the strategy from our people. And what that strategy, and the reason why I think we don't appreciate that strategy is because the environment and the situation we're in now. We don't understand that, or we've lost the appreciation to understand that back in that time, white America was able to, politically speaking, project itself across the world as G.I. Joe and the hero. This is post-1940s, post-World War II. When you hear the phrase baby boomer, this is post-baby boom. This is right after the baby boom. America had felt like it literally won, quote unquote, it literally won the war, no quotes. But that's a proverbial term too. Like, this is the end of the movie, right? They blew the Death Star up. They beat Hitler. They were the only real manufacturing entity left. All of Europe was tore up. Japan was tore up. Hell, China was tore up. And China wasn't the China it is now. You know what I'm saying? From a industrial standpoint, it was pretty much just America. So you had a booming economy, booming birth rate. You got to show yourself all around the world as the good guy. Everything was popping in America. It was a golden jubilee. And America loved projecting that to the world. So that gave America a great amount of influence, not only militarily. This also allowed America to set up, all the peace treaties that were set up were friendly and favorable to the United States, right? Or we could go back and run this war back again. Which you want these hands? Like that's the advantage you have when you win a war. And also when you're the only guy standing. Even our allies were in worse shape than us. And so you had a great amount of influence throughout the world, and you got to set the tone and the narrative for how things are going in America. Just like how China's doing now. Look at how China is talked about around the world right now in 2022. Even though we know there's huge civil rights and human rights violations going on there every day. Damn concentration camps. All kinds of torture going on, social currency. But because China's trains run on time, because China's making money, because China's over here invading and taking over countries and shit. But because China got money, China got military power. China's a manufacturing giant, and everybody owed China. You only hear good shit about China from mainstream media outlets. You can't even offend China. You got American celebrities. They say something bad about China. I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize to the people. You know what I'm saying? Because China got influence. So imagine, if you will, right now in 2022, right while China's expressing its biggest, most powerful, most widespread influence about its narrative. I mean, it's getting so arrogant right now. China's talking about changing the Bible. People don't understand how big that is. If they change a big Chinese Bible, even if it's BS, that's a billion Bibles going out across the world. That's how the King James Bible became so, they had the printing press. They were the only one everywhere. So that's the one everybody knows. Doesn't matter if a story's bullshit. Whoever gets the biggest bullshit out on the biggest broadcast wins. Influence. So imagine, if you will, how big it is when you have a giant empire like China right now, and you got a small group of Chinese or people from Hong Kong or people from wherever that are breaking through with their messaging, showing you what's really going on in China for how the sausage is made. Messing up China's reputation. Making China look bad. Making the United Nations and stuff have to look over and go, oh God, that's what's really going on in China? That's how Germany was. Look at Germany right before World War II. People were talking like Germany was the shit. Even black folks that went over there for their life. Oh, Germans know how to treat you. They're nice over there. Everybody was talking about how innovative Germany was and how they were fixing their economy and pulling themselves up from their bootstraps right after World War I. And then people found out what was really going on in Germany. Timing and context is key. No one remembers South Africa. The United States this is another perfect example of what I'm talking about influence and having a voice. And the reason why I'm talking about that is because these people our people in the 1960s was doing this shit with the tightest clamped media, military, total lies, under the threat of bullets all day, and was still coming out and broke through with that messaging through them ass whoopings. They tricked them. They knew they were hyper aggressive and violent. It's like the NFL, when you want to get a flag on somebody, you let them do something stupid right in front of the ref. They put America in a position to have to show how they really get down, how they really treat black folks. And that's how black folks are treated all over the world. But we were able to put that light on us because we exposed the biggest media outlet, the biggest country, and forced them to have to, oh, sorry about that, little Negro. We'll make some civil rights. We'll fix it up. Again, I repeat, when they finally killed Martin Luther King, black folks revealed that they could punch too. Them Holy Week riot fights was real. But the point that I'm saying was that influence was disrupted. The signal was disrupted, and they had to acknowledge it and had to make a change for it. They had to fix that. The key word in benign neglect is neglect. It takes a whole lot of effort to make 13% of your population disappear politically. 13% of your population to all of a sudden not have needs, not have a voice, not have a want for actual representation, not recognition or see, this is another game they play in politics. They'll say representation matters, and then they'll have somebody on the board that look like you, but they ain't representing. That's not representation. That's tokenism, right? Have you represented by someone that look like you that you haven't vetted? You don't even know them. You don't know them. They don't even know you. So how would they know what you need? Because they look like you. They don't even have your diet, right? Doesn't make any kind of sense. So, with regards to breaking through on their system, politically speaking, of course, not voting in a collectively loud fashion, and not voting in a collectively loud fashion at perfect timing will deliver the proper gut punch to make them have to correct. Now, let me give you a rundown of the current situation with them. The Democratic Party is at its most exposed and desperate than it's ever been in its entire life. Probably since the 1960s, to be honest with you. You have no friends, and you've expended all political capital. You've kowtowed all you can. See, I sat back and I waited and I watched how much ass kissing they were doing to the Latino community. And I just sat back and laughed and watched the game because they were basically giving away all they had right up front. And the Latino community was playing it. The Latino community, or the Hispanic community, whatever you want to call them, the brown community, they do have a political presence. They have people at the top working for them that are making sure things are going the way they want it. They may not agree with everything that goes on, but they have a political presence. Somebody is talking to them. And when I say them, I mean Hispanic and Latino businessmen and women with personal interest in the way the politics go in this country. The Democratic Party kowtowed and kissed ass to them and did everything they said they would do and more. And I watched that community not be moved at all. They're still pissed about shortcomings, right? The left liberals are fighting with them. They're falling apart at the seams. The one group of people you don't want to lose in an election is independents and non-voters or casual voters, excuse me. They don't like all your mandate policies and all your bullshit that you're trying to get more draconian on because, see, the most dangerous combination in politics is when you have a small core of zealots around somebody that are super duper enthusiastic within the party, but then everything outside the party can't stand your party. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Of course, the Republicans are going to hate you. That's their job. But when the independents hate you as much as the Republicans do, when the casual voters that only check in on TV every now and then, the only thing they know about you guys is, oh, you guys look like fascists. Oh, I don't want to do these masks, man. This is ridiculous. They're just making stuff up. Oh, these are the ones that keep doing this. And on top of all that, the cherry on top, when the only thing even the most loyal church lady black Democrat voter knows is that you gave Mexicans reparations. Right, you gave Mexicans reparations. The Mexicans was unmoved, and you pissed the black people off. You lost even Republicans are laughing like, how do you lose the black vote? We had to abandon them after the Civil War to lose the black vote. It's the loyalest damn vote in the world. The Democratic Party is left on a buoy out there in the middle of the ocean right now, and they're going to need a friend. And I've suggested this before because this would be easy. See, right now, we don't even really need a critical mass of voters yet. Right now, this is where new black media has to take charge. This is the test for new black media. Can new black media create an echo chamber of influence? That's how you do influence in algorithms now. If you can create an echo chamber within the algorithm, we all know what algorithms we're talking about, you now have influence. It comes up the chain. Mainstream media only picks up the news that new media makes up anyway. They're just picking stuff off the internet. They're constantly wondering what black folks are up to, especially around election time. Let me tell y'all how to ride a stock. Let's see if new black media can utilize this, create an echo chamber of influence. The midterm elections are coming. They're right around. They're here. From a campaign standpoint, from election time narrative standpoint, right? They'll be here in November. Now, think about this. Just think about this real quick. What do we know about black folks in the midterms? We don't vote in the midterms, right? There's going to be a big drive. They know they're screwed. There's going to be a red wave coming in the midterms. And that's going to negate anything this administration would want to do, even if Biden all of a sudden snapped back into it, right? Even if he saw the light. It's going to be a really, 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 really Republican Congress. There's a couple of key Senate seats going up, too. So it's pretty much a wrap. He's going to be a captive president, and he's already not quick enough on his toes. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a wrap. And to keep it real with you, there's a good chance you know who might come take the presidency. This thing could go real red really quick in the next 3 years, excuse me. So guess who's going to be giving a big push to black voters in the midterms? Something they never do. Something they always kind of half-assed try and never works, right? Didn't even work under Obama, right? That was why they try to blame black people for Obama's presidency not going the way it should have, even though we gave that nigga the presidency, the House, and the Senate. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to do? You know, black folks historically, like most people, I don't want to make it seem like it's a old black folks is buying Jordans. And most people do not vote in the midterms, period. The biggest group of voters in the midterms, aside from non-voters, is usually older people and absentee ballot people. They've seen a consistent uptick since they started doing more mail-in. But that's it. The midterms it doesn't really draw people out. It's not a national election. That's the real reason. There's not national coverage about it, about your candidate, about who you need to go vote for, like it is with the president. Why don't we just roll with that? See, new black media should roll with that. Let me give you an example. Black people didn't get the credit we deserved for the Kaepernick protest. The big downturn in NFL and ESPN viewership, that was black men saying we're not watching this in support of Kaepernick. But what did the media do? They flipped and said the reason why the NFL is seeing a downturn in viewership and ESPN is seeing a downturn in viewership is all this talk about this shit, all this woke talk. Let's just get rid of Kaepernick. Let's just not talk about it no more. Let's make it where it's illegal to kneel. If you niggas kneel, we're gonna have y'all getting fined. And then boom, boom, boom. We all it already got proven in court. We all made a secret agreement not to have that nigga on no team because he's gonna draw attention to this shit. We're gonna do collusion. We'll pay this nigga to be able to do illegal collusion to shut him up. And as far as showing black folks that they got some power in this, do not do that. Tell people that the narrative on what happened is that white people stopped watching the shows because they were tired of all this woke stuff. You go look at the numbers, it's black people that stopped watching. So we did the work. We had the vote. That was our vote. We were voting with our viewership, and we were saying we don't want to see this if he ain't, if you're not riding for my guy, right? But because we didn't have the politics, we weren't tapped in, we didn't have the voice, they were able to just lie on us and change the narrative like it never happened. So what I'm trying to tell you now is here's an opportunity to do the opposite. We're not voting anyway. The Democratic Party is going to make an all-out push, a full-scale assault to get black people to vote. We got to push back. We got to be able to tell them through our echo chamber, through our sphere of influence, we're not coming. No tangibles, no vote. We're not coming. And there's no way we can lose because we're not showing up to contend. Because what's going to happen is, even if we're completely bluffing and we have no influence, this is the genius of this, with no effort. If we're just saying we're the reason why they're not coming, and the Democratic Party, with all of their political might, cannot get black people to vote in the midterms because they never can, and we're never coming anyway. And on top of all that, even if black folks do show up in some kind of nominal amount higher than what is normal for midterms, it's not going to stop that wave, right? Because you got independent white voters and right-wing white voters wanting to get rid of these niggas. The will of the people in the country altogether, regardless of color, is to get rid of these people. So black votes can't save you. Even if we all came out to 2008 Obama levels, it would not save you. And we're not coming in those numbers. So no matter what, the end result is going to be black folks are going to come up short from saving the Democratic Party. Let's make the narrative that we didn't show up because we didn't want to, because we don't want to help this party. The only way we can do that is through new black media here on the internet. And I don't want to hear that we can't do it, because we worked them over so hard during the presidential election. And trust and believe you me, this midterm is going to be as hot as a presidential election if we make it. Halfway as hot. We made so much attention during that last election. They were using our language. Oh, well, we're going to provide tangibles, and we're going to, oh God, they were using our language. Cut the check. They were scared if they saw you with a blue shirt. Are you ADOS? Are you, oh God. They were running from people. You had Jim Clyburn poking people in the chest. It was insane. And this time, we got home field advantage. What we're going to have to do is use our sphere of influence here on the internet. I need to see new black media's echo chamber to push. And I'm already seeing it naturally happening. It has to be organic, but I would love some sort of direction on it. Not me, but I'm saying I would love some sort of cohesion to see, hey, we need a hashtag on it. We need some sort of language. It's going to happen organic. Black folks, it just grew. You know what I'm saying? Continue with the narrative that black folks aren't coming for a purpose. Because if you let this happen, what's going to happen to black people is what's going to happen to black people every election cycle, because we don't have a voice. We don't have politics. We don't have a seat at the table. We don't have anybody speaking for us on our behalf, right? We don't have anybody coming back to us telling us the truth about what they're doing at that table. That's politics. We don't have a chief. We don't have a chief in the war room. Shit just happens to us and we just find out when it's happening. Every election cycle, let's just talk about presidential election cycles. And I've said this before, but it bears repeating. Every election cycle, I see this happen to black people. And it was at its most egregious point this past election with Biden and Trump. Black people are the center point and sole focus of the result of the election. We all know it comes down to the black vote because the black vote, as I've said before, is the tiebreaker vote. Half the entire country votes Republican. The other half of the country votes Democrat every time. The halves that vote. Independents sway one way or another, but they even usually coalesce on one side or the other. Black people, we just vote Democrat. Or back in the day, we just vote Republican. We're a unified community. Joe Biden, what's the one thing I'll shoot him some bail on some racist shit. He is an old white supremacist. But the one thing he said that I don't think we should have took as an insult was when he said all the Hispanics are diverse, but all the blacks are the same. Yeah, bet. Yeah, when it comes to politics, that's how you see us politically. That's a good thing. You don't want someone to see wedges in you where you can get some space. That's how they can divide you. Start making deals with one side over the other. No, he said all the blacks are coast to coast, same niggas. He knows that. He's been at war with us for hundreds of years. He's a junior exalted cyclops, that bastard. Anyway, when it comes to influence, how you will know we are winning, how you will know we are winning, how you will know they hear us. You see all this misinformation stuff that pops up for the you know what? Wait till election time. It's going to be like the alien sedition laws in America all over again. Look that up. Look up the alien sedition laws where you couldn't say bad stuff about the president. Talking about freedom of speech. Look up the history of that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They were already trying to pass a law to ban talks of "Let's go Brandon," right? Which is an ongoing joke about Joe Biden. Oh my goodness. Let's go Brandon in and of itself is an example of them trying to whitewash something live and direct, right? Where they try to cover it up. The crowd chanting F Joe Biden. And they're like, oh, I think the crowd saying, let's go Brandon. I was shouting Boo Earns, right? It's just comedy, how desperate. And this is what I'm talking about. When you're in charge and the world's watching, you don't want things to look like everything's falling apart on your watch. The big difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, there's zero difference personality-wise and belief-wise. Honestly, Joe Biden's worst. But the big difference politically is Joe Biden has the media at his back. And this is how you're looking? If there had been a crowd chanting F Donald Trump during Donald Trump's presidency, the media would have been playing that on full blast 24/7. They would not have covered that one up. And this isn't a cry for Donald Trump thing. I'm showing you how desperate. This is what it looks like. This is how the civil rights movement had America looking to the world. Here, America, we're the land of freedom. Oh, my God, are they beating up black people in the background with fire hoses and police dogs? No, I think they're saying, let's go, Brandon. Like, that's how embarrassing it was for America to where they had to correct themselves, right? We're in a position like that now. And I'm not just talking about police brutality. I'm talking about the Democratic Party being desperate as a whole, looking like they can't hold the country together as a whole. Looking like they can't keep their party together, their big tent, their collection of voters together as a whole. Their strategy of trying to circumvent the black vote. See, they knew going in they were going to piss the black vote off, and this was supposed to be our little kiss of death. They were supposed to send us over the mountain after this. And then they were going to be trying to cobble together a ragtag voting base between Hispanics, LGBTQ, general immigrants, women voters, and college. No, bro. It's the same niggas. It's going to come down to the same niggas that it always comes down to. And this time it's going to cost you, but only if we can make it clear that it's going to cost them. See, the ADOS, the write-in ADOS, and then it became ADOS down ballot, and then it became vote Democrat down ballot and all that bullshit. That was supposed to be the ransom note. The Democratic Party counts on and depends on, like the 1st and 15th, the black vote every 4 years. Every 4 years since the black people have been able to actually get our vote together, we've been saving the day. The only time they win is when they have black people, just like the rest of the country. But they've become so entitled to it and so unappreciative, they've gotten a little cocky. It's been a while since they've had to earn it. It's been a while since they've had to earn it. The narrative within the black community needs to be nothing but stories of exposure of the Democratic Party's mishandling of the black community. Because if we don't do this, and this is the other side, this is the teeter-totter balance. Remember, it's one party with two faces, and both faces are keyed on using you. In the Democratic face, they use black people like a Sally Struthers African in order to get stuff for everybody else, right? But with the Republican face, the black person becomes the boogeyman. The black person becomes the big piñata to be used as the reason to say we need increased police presence. You know what I'm saying? So they could be looking like they're working and beating the shit out of niggas so that their communities can be safe on their side of town. You already know how that's going to go. You already know how that's going to go. So we have to make sure to take control of this narrative and say that we're not coming for a reason, and show that these black communities in both of these red and blue states are shit. Don't let them Republicans look at how bad these communities in these black communities in these blue states are because they don't have police presence. No, nigga, you got plenty of police presence over here in Ferguson. You got plenty of police presence over here in Louds County, Alabama. You got plenty of police presence. I don't want to hear shit about our communities are messed up because we don't got enough police. Or we don't got enough money. We don't got enough resources. We need better schools. We need food, we need nourishment, right? I ain't heard shit about Flint, Michigan yet. Other than the fact that they let all the criminal people that was involved in it off. That they knew about it, that it was planned. Like, this is stuff I'm talking about not having a political presence. Wouldn't nothing like Ferguson have gone down on no black political party's watch in the 60s? But everybody's asleep at the wheel now. They're more focused on, they're focused on keeping black people asleep. The black political elite is like anesthesia. But anyway, I digress. It's very important that we're able to create a narrative from this, a narrative from the inaction of black people not showing up in the midterms, despite the Democratic Party's greatest efforts to get black people to save them this time. We need to make it the narrative that we did that on purpose, right? Not the narrative that, well, we couldn't get it done, because that's the narrative that they'll put on us. That's the narrative that they'll put on us. This thing is going to happen anyway, but this is going to show our influence. It's really important that we start to get in tune with what politics really is, because without that and only having a vote, we're just like a flailing body. no head, no eyes to see what's going on in our communities, no mouth to speak about it, no ears to hear what they're kicking back and what they're offering, the moves they're planning to make in the bigger part of the city and how it'll affect us down the line, any kind of bullshit they're planning to mess us up. Like, think about it. We don't know they're planning on building something in our communities until you see a notice of proposed use sign and a fence around some shit. We don't really be knowing what's happening not because we're dumb. That's what I hate hearing about from black people a lot. Oh, because we don't, blah, blah, blah. Okay, who is we? Who is we? Because that's not how politics works. We live in a country that has a democratic republic. And I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. A democratic republic means, yeah, we're a democratic society. We all get a vote, but a republic in the sense that we vote for a person who then represents our values and what we want to have done. And then they go out there and they do it and make those moves. We don't just what's there? 40 million black people. We don't all stand out in a yard in a damn park and go, hey, man, do we want better roads? Yeah. Okay. Everybody who wants better roads, make some noise. Like that would just be a pure democracy right there. Everybody votes on everything all the time. That wouldn't be effective. You have a democratic republic. Those representatives tell you what they represent and what they propose to do, and you see which one matches up with what you want to do. And then you say, that guy's going to do, he's my representative. He's going to do that shit. And then he reports back to me. If you don't do what you said you was going to do, you don't do it right, or even if we change our mind, all right, we'll get a new guy who's going to do a different thing. Or gal, So black people collectively are supposed to be aware. There's really a critical mass of people that are politically aware, but we are supposed to have amongst our best and our brightest people with some sort of balls and morality and pride in yourself to use all that smarts to help your people out. You're supposed to be in that position explaining that shit. Let's just use common sense here. We all know people who are very well educated in something, and the rest of the family, that's not their field of expertise. You can be some doctor. You're the only doctor in your family. You're the only lawyer in your family, right? You're the only guy. And your family members, they may know so little about your profession or your skill set that they might ask you questions. They don't even know you're a foot doctor, and they asking you questions about their brain scan from that because they just know you're a doctor. You see what I'm saying? They don't even know what they don't know as far as how to ask you something, right? So yeah, you're gonna be like, this nigga don't know shit. But when you're in a position to where you see that same family member in a situation that your skill set can help, right? Oh, I'm a foot doctor. I'm knowing he's supposed to elevate his foot after that surgery he just had on blah, 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 blah. I'm going to help him with this. Why would you not help them? Why would you sit there and let them be ignorant about something and let them suffer? Why would you not help? That's the whole point of you. Which brings me to Barack Obama. I hate to keep picking on this guy, and I'm not going to name his name, but there was a video made the other night about, the usual old black people line about how Barack Obama was a great president and black people messed it up. And I just got to call something out. I'm sorry. We have to come to terms with the fact that Barack Obama wasn't shit. Barack Obama ain't shit now. And the Barack Obama situation was separate from Barack Obama, the person. We have to be real clear on that. Black people messed it up is the dumbest thing you can say. Because black people showed an incredible amount of discipline when it came to Barack Obama. I will destroy somebody logically trying to make an argument that Barack Obama was a great president, period, was a great president for black people, or the asinine idea that black people, quote unquote, messed it up. What was it, nigga? What did we blow? We were on our way to what? Barack Obama was in the middle of doing what? And then how did we mess it up? I'm gonna tell you exactly the argument that is made about this. And when you hear this argument, you'll realize, again, getting back to that influence and narrative, you'll realize how people get their information about politics in the black community, right? It usually just comes down. Most black people's information about politics in the black community comes from like a couple of older black ladies that, I don't mean to pinpoint the black women, but usually it's the black women that do all the work in the, political scene in the black community. Be a couple of black ladies that, work down at the voting office or something like that, or volunteer their time. That's and watching MSNBC and CNN. Just watching television news. That's it. So when you think that, and remember I said earlier, that's political telemundo. That's as the country turns, right? If you really got an idea that black people ruined Barack Obama's presidency because black people didn't show up in the midterms for Barack Obama's health care plan, you haven't been paying attention. See, that was a way to blame black people. Now, I'm going to point something out. I'm not going to mention the name, but like I said, you'll be able to figure out who it is from this. The same black people that say black people ruined Barack Obama's presidency are literally the exact same black people that said black people didn't get Barack Obama in as president when he won. Even though when you just look at the numbers, you just look at the voting numbers and you remove the black vote, Barack Obama loses by 5%. We were the only voting bloc that voted unanimously for Barack Obama. Like it was like damn, nigga, it was like 98%. The margin of error on a vote is 3%. So you tell me how a group of people that solely voted for you, plus were the numerically, factually only group of people that got you over to win in all the key states you won, did not win you the presidency. You tell me how that group of people, who even by both parties' admission have the hardest time voting in modern times, still managed to vote for you in numbers so high the Republican Party was crying voter fraud. If you can tell me how that group didn't win it for you, and then tell me how in politics, if I win some shit for you, you owe me. You got to do something for me first. I'm your constituency. You tell me how that didn't translate into him having to do some shit for us, knowing this nigga was a senator from Illinois, knowing exactly what was going on with black folks, right? You tell me how that group of people who then never really asked Barack Obama for shit. That wasn't because we was dumb. That's because we was trying to just be supportive. Black folks was as disciplined as shit when Obama was running for office. We knew this nigga can't really be like, think about it. Let's just keep it real. Black folks went into slavery mode when Barack Obama was making office. That was like somebody in the family might be passing. Oh, don't talk to Bessie in public. Keep your eyes down. She real light. She might be able to get out of here. We was unified in our discipline. We were so disciplined with Barack Obama. Louis Farrakhan hit a picture. Like, don't let them see him with my black ass. We were so disciplined with Barack Obama when the Jeremiah Wright video came out, even though he was right, black folks all went phony and sold him out, and Jeremiah Wright even sold himself out. We all knew to play our part. Remember, we were all like, yeah, we don't agree with the words of Jeremiah Wright. That's just wrong. And Jeremiah Wright was like, yeah, shoot, Barack Obama should distance himself from me. Everybody black was like, don't fuck this up for Barack Obama. Everybody black was like, don't mess this up for him. Hell, Colin Powell was a Republican. He was like, well, I'm not going to say nothing about my nigga. Like, everybody was like, don't mess this up for Barack. That was unprecedented to have a black president. We didn't even ask him for shit. When Barack Obama's presidency started getting wobbly at the beginning, let's be real. We got tested day one. Talking about black people messed up for Obama. Day one, what happened? Day one, Barack Obama get in and white folks threw that nigga a knuckleball. Hey, let's go fucking arrest a random important black. Let's go arrest Skip Gates from they didn't just arrest a regular black person. They said we got the first black president. Let's test this nigga. Let's go arrest a black history buff who's on TV, who's highly recognizable and looks as harmless as shit. Let's go arrest Skip Gates in front of his own house and humiliate this nigga and see what he gonna do. Black folks didn't demand he go do some shit. We sat there and was like, oh, damn. They got day one. Barack Obama put himself out there and said that the police acted stupidly. And the white folks jumped on his head. What, nigger? What you gonna do? Next thing you know, Barack Obama out there having a beer with the motherfucker that called him, that was calling him all kinds of names, that had Skip Gates all chained up. They all got to sit there and have a beer together. Go back and look at that picture. Skip Gates looked like he want to break that beer bottle over that cop's head. But they got to sit there and play nice and kiss. That whole thing was about kissing up to the police unions. They were trying to see what kind of nigger is this nigger going to be. Is he going to associate with the black? People don't remember all the stuff the right was saying the minute Barack Obama became president. That was rare air. We didn't know if there was going to be race riots or handshakes. Only the black people remember how it felt when Barack Obama got out that limo. Only the black people remember that. Go back and look at the video of the inauguration when he won. And he's walking out the limo, and go look at the picture of all the white folks that are still clapping off, beating, smiling and shit. And then go look at the black folks. You got black folks looking like, hey, nigga, some shit pop off. Nigga, they try something. You got niggas reaching for their waist. People was loving Obama. Love. Not, I think he's going to be the president. Love. Because you know one thing black folks love is black folks love black excellence. So black folks was 110,000% behind Barack Obama. Even when he had to sell us out. We were like, do what you got to do, nigga. You're passing. We weren't tripping. They tested him. They threw him. They shot a little jab at him. And he walked right into the shit. Now you at a beer summit. They got you at a beer summit. This nigga don't even drink beer. He looked like hella uncomfortable. Remember what they told that nigga? We're going to see if he's going to be Uncle Sam for the American people or Uncle Tom. They was testing him. Same shit they do with Tiger Woods. And what you're supposed to do is show that, oh, I don't like those blacks. You're supposed to distance yourself from us. We knew he wasn't going to come out day one with an afro and a dashiki. We weren't looking for that. But when them police unions saw he wasn't going to do shit, 8 years of Obama was the most violent time with police for black people in modern history. Keep it real with you. There was a whole lot of people act like Mike Brown and all them shit didn't happen under Obama's watch. That was deep into his presidency. That was in his second term. But black folks didn't say shit the first term. We wasn't even worried about black shit. I'm going to tell you what black people wanted for Barack Obama his first term. Be black, have a black wife with black kids in the White House. Nigga, don't have no scandal and get something accomplished so it looks like the black president is doing some shit and you can't say we messed anything up. That's all we wanted the first term. That's all we want. We didn't even want a single thing for us. We didn't want you caught up with some Marilyn Monroe scandal with a white woman. Oh, no. Not like President Barack Obama's been caught with crack. Oh, the bitch set me up. No, Mr. President. That would have been bad for us. We didn't want a single damn thing other than to literally be happy and look black and happy together. You know how many Ebony's and Jet magazines got sold when Barack Obama became the president? You know how many Obama shirts got made in the hood? Man, oh my God. Niggas was throwing in their mixtapes with Obama shirts. Black folks was 1,000% behind Barack Obama. It wasn't on black people to show up at no damn midterms. Nigga, we gave you the presidency. See, this is what people forget. Black people not only came in and voted for Obama, but you know how black people are. When we love you, we love anybody that rock with you. We were like, what's that nigga from? He from Democrat? Boom. Anything blue on that ticket is good. Everything. We voted for random judges. Black folks, if we didn't see a D by the name, we didn't even vote for it. If it was two judges, they would, shit, I don't know. I don't even know. Anything he was from. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody in politics, that's called coattails. That's called coattails. And to be honest with you, most people vote like that. If you're a Democrat and you're coming in on JFK's ticket, oh my God. You're a Republican and you're coming in on Ronald Reagan's ticket. Oh, sweep in. We came in and voted for Obama and anybody who said they would him. They came in with the entire House, the entire Senate, and the presidency and the people. So you have the complete mandate. Complete mandate. And didn't do for anybody, not just for black people. Like this is how you know the whole Barack Obama was a great president and black people messed up argument is bullshit, because white people on the Democratic side, white people on the left, not establishment Democrat, white people on the left who have left leanings, who live in reality. Go listen to a real white liberal show. Just your average white person. They're like, oh, fucking Obama. They're embarrassed that they fell for the yes we can shit, looking like damn religious. You know what I'm saying? Like looking like Jesus was coming. Black folks was happy because you know the history of the country. And that's another problem of Obama. You're an imitation black American that came in right. Let's talk about the silent contract with white people that a vote for Barack Obama basically said. Voting for Barack Obama to white people on the left and independents basically said, hey, man, if you got a record of having voted for me, we're square on the slavery thing. And he ain't got shit to do with no goddamn slavery. But he got to expend all that political capital from us. Of white, hey, buddy, I voted for Obama, pal. You could just feel that shit. That's the new my great grandpappy fought for the North, right? That's the new one. I voted for Obama. My grandfather marched with King. I voted for Obama. That's what that was. And we got nothing for that because he wasn't even about that. He didn't even come from that. This nigga was off in the Serengeti somewhere when all that shit was going down. We didn't vet this nigga at all. We were just happy to see a black face in a high place. We just wanted to see black excellence. And that's the problem with older niggas. That used to be the mentality. You can't be more into... That's really some niggerish shit when you think about it. You can't sit there and make fun of black folks for caring more about how they look than how they are, when politically speaking, you care more about how we look than how we really are. Obama should have come in doing shit for niggas. You don't got to come in with the blackity black power, up with hope, down with dope plan. You don't got to come in doing none of that shit. You know how to disguise things. That you're a politician from Illinois. You're a Chicago politician, the sleaziest of them all. And that's not an insult. They'd be proud of that. Chicago politics is real. You know how to disguise shit into legislation that's going to help your people without saying your people. You know how to do that. You don't got to mention inner city. You know the situations your people are living in, man. You've seen East St. Louis, Illinois. You sure know how to write a Blue Lives Matter bill for the police. He did that right after Mike Brown. Now, that was black people saying, we ain't going to say nothing about him. Because if that was any other president, Mike Brown would have been a 10 times more. Mark my words. If Barack Obama was not president when Mike Brown got killed, that would have made George Floyd look like a Tinker Tape parade. This whole country would have went up. Picture Mike Brown going down under John McCain. The whole country would have went up. Because it would have been a whole different energy in Ferguson. You saw how bad it got. And going back to what I was talking about influence, did you see how the media smothered that narrative? The protest that was going on in Ferguson was 10 times more organic, 10 times more nasty. It was more like a battlefield. If you saw the tanks and the shit they were bringing out, there was actual assassinations put out on people that were protesters. The stuff that was going on in Ferguson was 10 times more volatile. That was the word I was looking for. More venomous, more sinister. When you look at the history of Ferguson and what culminated in that, that story got smothered so quick because that would have lit the city and the country up 10 times worse. Even with the smothering, even with the media handling it the way it did and changing the narrative, because black people, we don't have a political voice. And in that instance, we really chose not even to use it because we weren't trying to mess things up for the black president. Black people didn't mess up shit for Obama. Black people didn't mess up shit for Obama. I'm going to give you a perfect example of a group of people that turned on Obama. Look at the gays. The gays were another group, which is just white people. The gays were another group of people that were all, woo, Obama in '08. Nigga, I'm in Seattle. When Obama won in 2008, it was like the Death Star blew up. There's videos of Seattle, man. There's hood bars and gay bars and police. Everybody was celebrating, running out singing, "Don't Stop Believing in Shit." It was amazing. We didn't even know his pilot. We were just like, hey, he won. That's how happy people were. But 2-3 years in, and the gays still couldn't ask, and still couldn't tell, and still couldn't get married, and still couldn't see dying spouses and shit in the hospital. And they told him straight up, look, bro, real glitter shit. If you don't get right, and people forget, Barack Obama, who's a weeble wobbler. He's the type of person that he's going to tell you whatever he's into is whatever is the most popular thing that doesn't offend the most people. Because he's an entity. To some degree, we get it, but he's really, really good at it. But at the time, he wasn't sure where America's temperature was on gay rights. And he was still playing that, well, my own personal religious beliefs and I can't speak on. When them gays told him, look, nigga, we're not voting for you if you don't get right on this shit now. All of a sudden, Barack Obama turned into a fucking Pokemon. Barack Obama is evolving. That nigga said, I evolved on the subject. And that nigga became the gayest president in history. Gays are first-class citizens, number 1 now. In like 2 years. You can't even fire a gay person now. We didn't do that to Barack Obama. We didn't threaten to pull out. You talking about we didn't show up for the midterms. They threatened to pull out. Pause. They threatened not to vote for him no more over their issues. Black folks who had every right to do so. Black folks who sat there silently and watched you dance for the Hispanics and si se puedo, do whatever they say for the immigrants, kowtow, bend over backwards for the LGBTQ groups, for the women's groups, because he came in swinging hard for the white women's groups, because that was his first advocacy group. And plus, we know Barack Obama do love white women, but he came in swinging hard for the white women's groups because they're very powerful. They have a powerful political voice. We sat back silently and watched you look out for everybody. Black folks was the main people trying to protect. We were really black people were the only people trying to protect Barack Obama's presidency for the sake of his presidency. We were the main people keeping it real. Like I said earlier, most black people don't really know all the details of politics like that. We over here arguing with white folks about his foreign policy. We don't know. That's our nigga. We just trying to defend him. Well, he got to stay in Iraq because shit, nigga, when's the last time you been to Iraq? Like, we're just trying to defend this guy because he's our guy. We don't want it to look like the first black president is fucking up. That's all we could do. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, I remember Al Sharpton on an episode of Politics Nation one time just straight up said, we're not going to even ask him no questions. We didn't ask him any questions. No president in history has ever gotten a pass like that. And when it got to the end of his 4 years and it was clear he wasn't going to do shit, what did we tell ourselves? We told ourselves this. He never said this. No one in his office ever told us this. He never intimated this. We told ourselves, he going to get us in the second term, though. That's when he going to black up. Barack Obama was such a milquetoast president. I remember white folks were saying he wasn't black enough. Remember Bill Maher was making fun of him, talking about, I thought he was going to come in and be for the people. That's what white folks voted for. They wanted the nigga president too. Well, maybe we'll get health care. Whoa. When you're black and all you know about Barack Obama is that he was allegedly born in a river in a little tent, you know what I'm saying? Then it's hard to try to explain to you why he wasn't shit. You're talking to people, and I'm not saying it like I'm some kind of high-minded, I'm not speaking as me to the average black voter. I'm talking about the average black voter to the average white politician. The average white voter to the average white politician. There's such a disadvantage, right? And when you're talking to black folks about Obama, it was personal. Barack Obama represented black people to them, that black folks could be president too. So it was bigger than any policy. He knew that going in. He knew that, right? Most black people don't know that Barack Obama's cabinet, his entire staff, his whole political cabinet of people under him was selected by the very banks that he was supposed to be prosecuting. We don't know it's all a dog and pony. We didn't know. We were just happy we finally got somebody at the top. Like, shit, you seen Roots? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't look down on black people for not doing X, Y, Z. We live in a republic where we choose the best and brightest guy. We chose who we thought was the best and brightest black person for once. And we said, nigga, you're going to go do right by us. Go represent. You're a representative. We didn't even realize he had no votes on key issues that was affecting black folks. He just voting present because he was just becoming the senator to put that shit on his resume. The same way he was just going to a black church with Jeremiah Wright to put it on his black resume. We didn't realize that he was blackening himself up. See, we see it now with Kamala Harris. We see all the red flags with Kamala Harris. Plus, she doesn't do it as well. I will give Obama one thing. He was dedicated in his bullshit. It was good bullshit. I voted for him twice. Was happy about it. Used to bump Young Jeezy, my president is black. I bought the bullshit. We all did. Let's just keep it real. The same way white folks bought the bullshit with Ronald Reagan and are you better off today than you were 8 years ago? And everybody, the shining city on the hill, JFK. People remember, this is what's funny. People remember JFK's iconic, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. But people don't remember why he was saying that because people was like, where's the money at, motherfucker? Like he was hustling. All these presidents, they're all full of shit. Half the time, they don't even know. Like, Ronald Reagan kept it real one time and was talking about, he was talking to was it Gorbachev? Another, forgive me, I might have got the other Russian leader wrong, but they were having a summit in a neutral area and talking all these peace treaties and shit. And his staffers and stuff got out. I was like, Mr. President, you were trading secrets with Bob. He said, oh, man, he doesn't know that stuff either. Ronald Reagan literally used to be an actor. You just got to sell shit well. You're the marketer in chief when you're the president. And they sold us some good shit. Made the country feel good. Look good, feel good. Remember when Obama won in 2008, man, you had countries that didn't like us that were like, all right, we ain't beefing right now. Because they didn't know how to look at that. Like, damn, maybe America did change. They actually, that's what change really meant. It was real subliminal. We all bought into it. I'm fine with admitting it. We can admit it too. But let's not pretend like black folks messed anything up for Barack Obama. That's narrative. That's bullshit narrative. The main group, the same way it's bullshit narrative that all the voters that voted for Trump are racist. A lot of these people voted for Barack Obama twice. They're disillusioned. It's a protest vote. But the narrative that the Democratic Party went on was hard. These people are racist. There's a small, there's a noticeable contingency of, flat out white supremacist dickheads that are in for Donald Trump. But a lot of them people that voted for Trump, that was a protest vote. They were upset. You notice they didn't want to get rid of Obamacare. That's all they got. So anyway, I just laid out all the shit Barack Obama didn't do for black folks. That's his whole entire presidency. The only thing you can even say he did that niggas try to cling to is he did that my brother's keeper. And that my brother's keeper was not for black people. It's not exclusively for black people. And it's an unfunded fucking it's not even a bill. It's an unfunded program. It's just some shitty. Barack Obama's whole thing was just his legacy. That's all he's ever cared about. It's just his legacy. It's time that we come to terms with certain things. Like, we kind of knew when we were riding with OJ, that was payback for Rodney King. Real black people understand that. It was like, yeah, we know, and we found out later on he really probably didn't kill her because it still didn't make sense how one dude can kill two people at the same time with a knife. But even if he did, you saw them beat Rodney King and let them diggers off. So we didn't see that shit then. Not guilty. It was so obvious that we did that. For those that remember, if you go back, because we used to watch that OJ trial like it was As the World Turns over here. If you go back and you go look at when that verdict went down, one of the black jurors right in front of OJ puts a black power fist up. We knew what time it was with that. And when white folks would get mad about, you know he did it because the blood, he got the blood in the Bronco. We would all play dumb, just like they do. Like, shit, I don't know. Look like circumstances. Me, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm not a smart person. I'm black. I just vote Democrat and I do my thing. I don't bother nobody. It was fun to play dumb about that. We know OJ. Same way y'all be knowing that all them niggas showing up swinging from trees ain't suicides. Let's all play dumb. But we've let the narrative slip away with Obama. We let the narrative slip away. And the narrative that's coming to us now is that we ruined it for bullshit. Black folks didn't ruin shit for Obama. The black vote never went down the black vote never wavered for Obama. Even in the midterms, when they said we didn't show up, we showed up in higher numbers. That's the one time black folks showed up in higher numbers. Was all right, nigga. I'm gonna go for Barack, but it wasn't enough because the Republican Party was more enthusiastic than the Democratic Party, not than black people, than the Democratic Party. White folks on the left were hesitant in coming out for Barack Obama in the midterms. He wasn't putting in work. He wasn't getting shit done. See, here's what the Democrats do every time that they get the supermajority. Because we all forget, try to blame it on black folks. They had a supermajority. They had enough to where you couldn't veto them. They had enough to where you couldn't filibuster them. They either had the supermajority or they almost had the supermajority. But what happens with the Democrats whenever they get into a majority is they start splitting off. Because really they don't want to accomplish any of the shit they be saying they want to accomplish. They're just saying that shit to get votes and to get money. And in order to make it look like you're putting in an effort to get votes and to get money, what did I say at the beginning of the show you need? You need an opposition party that's always just in your way. It's like the church fund. We just, man, if we had more money, we could stop these Republicans and we could get this passed and we could get that passed. And you send in money and you give them votes and you go, tell your friends and tell your folks. And they get that majority where can't shit stop them. And that's when they change it up on you and switch up on a pussy little bitch, right? That's when all of a sudden they switch up on your ass. And, well, Joe Manchin once. Well, the Senate parliamentarian said we can't. Well, the Justice Democrats are going to have to. I thought y'all was a party. What the hell is all this shit? And it's just for you. Because let that be a military bill. That shit gets passed bipartisan by the afternoon. Because you don't have a political voice. You don't have a political presence. You don't have a seat at the table. And you're not going to get any of that until we get this influence game right. We need to get this echo chamber, like I said, and we can straighten all this shit out. When they see, just like with that Obama midterm, when they see with this midterm, this time, yeah, we're not showing up. That's what we should have did to Obama. We're not going to show up until you do some shit for us. We're not showing up. Even though we know we're not coming anyway. Until you do X, Y, Z. And when you see that you lose in big numbers in the midterm, when you have to run for presidency a couple years later, if you can even, oh my God, you're going to be facing a red wave of Congress and a potential you-know-who running again, you're going to have to kiss black ass to even have a hope of even getting in there. And not only that, but to tell you what, you-know-who, he would be down to throw some kind of concession to black people just to show up the Democratic Party. He's a wild card. You know what I'm talking about. You set it up for him to come back and almost be a shoo-in as president again. So we got a lot of power if we know how to direct it, but it all comes down to new black media and our ability to create and maintain the narrative through an echo chamber. Influence. Signing out.